Hey guys, it's the end of the month. You know what that means. It's time for another post-mortem for this month's game, and I'm going to hop into my plans for March as well. I'm going to lump that into this video instead of doing a separate video because I'm doing something a little bit more unique with March, so we'll get into that. But hopping right in, Long Shadows is out now on itch.io. It is free. You can find my itch.io page in the description of the video below. Find all my games there and all my upcoming games. And yeah, if you want to play it, go check it out. I'd love the support. And I wanted to go back to my goals that I'd originally set for this game that I talked about in kind of the pitch deck for it. So my first one was create a world you can explore. Second was learn more about pixel art. Next was make more devlogs and be myself on social media. And then the last one was record music using real instruments. And I think I absolutely made the biggest world I've ever made in a game, but I'm kind of giving myself a mostly completed for that one because it wasn't as in-depth of a world or had as many characters or interactable things to kind of add detail to the world that I wanted to originally. But I did achieve that goal, but just not as strong as I wanted to. For pixel art, I definitely learned a lot more about pixel art, about shading, different colors, different angles, kind of perspective, and how to get that done since this was kind of a more isometric style game. I did a lot more devlogs and worked on the social media, tried to find myself or try to find my voice a little bit more and just post more natural conversations with you guys and more updates about what's going on and kind of get y'all's feedback a little bit. I engaged a lot more on what your comments were and responding to those and implementing different features that you guys said, like with the hovercraft trail and stuff like that. I got a lot of your feedback on what I should do, and that was actually a suggestion from one of you guys. So yeah, I think I definitely have improved in that sense. I also recorded music with real instruments. I only did one song. If I had more time, if February wasn't such a short month, I definitely would have done more songs and worked with more instruments, but I just recorded one song on a harmonica using my new microphone for this game. But yeah, so I think I achieved my goals, maybe a little bit less on the world one. That's why I kind of give it that like maybe rating there, but definitely got through all of these, at least enough to say I achieved them. How development went. So this was an ambitious project for me, but I think I definitely got most of the features I wanted to in the game. There was a couple of different things I wanted to learn with this game, and I think I achieved most of them. I built a larger world than I have in any other game, like I was talking about in the previous slide. I wish I could have done more in-depth work on characters and kind of more story, more features for the world, but it was definitely the largest world I've done, and I'm proud of what I've put forth there. I developed an inventory system. This is something that I have never really done before, and it was kind of a challenge for me to figure out, so I'm proud of myself for figuring that out. That was kind of ambitious. There's different ways to get items, sell them, trade them in, store them different places, swap them back to your inventory, interact with them in different ways. But yeah, I also learned a lot about myself as a game dev. So what I mean by this is I learned that I love designing games. I love figuring out different ideas for them, coming up with systems and stuff like that. And I love developing these ideas and building and actually implementing those systems. I love getting into the code and actually, doing the development part of game development where I come up with these ideas and put them into the code, figure out how they work together, test those, clean that up, polish that up. So I really, really enjoy that part of making games. And I enjoyed that part of like making the inventory system, building out the larger world, and finding solutions for those different things with this game. I also, and I already knew this, but visuals and animation are not my biggest strength. That's why it was a goal for me with this game. I spent a lot of time on pixel art and trying to make it look right with the hovercraft, with different angles and perspectives on characters, animations, different things like that. The trail for the hovercraft, all of that. So I worked a lot on that. And I'm realizing it's not my biggest strength, but it's something I did grow with during this game. I should have used a different engine or tech stack for this game. And I'll talk more about this later, what I'm going to do about it. But I think a lot of my issues with building a world this size and having a hard time fleshing it out and taking a long time to get the world built out has to do with using Love 2D and kind of the tech stack I used or didn't use. I was very much I had to go find the exact coordinates and copy and paste those objects myself rather than using like a tile-based system or something. So something like that would be a better feature that's available in different libraries or something like that for Love 2D or in different game engines. So that's why I talked a lot this month about different game engines, what game engines I should use and stuff like that, as you saw in some of my previous shorts talking about how my game engine choice was maybe not the best one for this game. This game was a huge learning project. I learned a lot about myself as a developer, my engine, what my goals are, what my things I love doing with games is, where some of my weaknesses are, and I learned a lot about myself and what I want to do with game development going forward. So I'm kind of adapting some of my plans around that. But it's been a really big learning game for me. And another thing I focused on with development, I talked about this a little bit in the last slide, but was learning social media, recording better, being myself more on social media, and editing videos better. I've added in different smaller edits, figured out a better way of showing shorts in different ways, editing to make it more interesting, audio, all these different things. I got a microphone this month, so I've been working with that microphone. That's what I'm talking on right now. But yeah, so I've learned how to use that microphone and tried to do better at engaging with you guys and trying to build my community and stuff like that. But yeah. So overall, game dev went great. I'm really proud of this game and excited to share it with you guys. But I wanted to talk a little bit about my game dev journey at this point. So I taught myself how to develop websites using JavaScript last year with the goal of building a portfolio and finding a job with that. And a good bit into that, I realized I wanted to make games, not websites. I didn't enjoy making websites as much. I wanted to work more on games at that point and just try my hand at being an independent developer. So I switched from JavaScript and taught myself Lua and how to develop games using Love2D, which is the game engine I've been using for all my projects. And that's where I developed and released Dungeon Camp. That was my first game I released back in December. And now I'm pushing myself to learn and grow as a game dev by making a game every month in 2026. And I'm still using Lua and Love2D as my code language and my game engine, respectively. And I really want to push myself this next month. I don't want to keep using the same game engine. I don't want to keep doing the same stuff. I feel like I've gotten stuck in a little bit of a rut with Love2D. I know how to use it. It's maybe a little too comfortable. And I want to push myself to learn something new, try something new, and see what I can learn about myself as a developer and what fun ideas I can get by trying a different engine and trying a different approach to making games. So I have a crazy idea. Unlike every other month in 2026, I will not be making one game in March. I'll be making multiple. So here's my plan for March. I'll be learning multiple game engines this month. I'm going to push myself to try different things, learn a lot about these different game engines, get feedback from you guys, and kind of try out and see what different game engines can do for me, because they all have different strengths, they all have different weaknesses, they all have different applications that I want to learn and add to my toolbox as a game developer. So kind of my plan for this is I'm going to start on a new game engine on Monday and roll with it. I'm going to post daily videos of what I've achieved on socials. So I'll be talking about what I learned about the engine, why I'm using that engine, what it's doing for me, the struggles with it, the things I like about it, don't like about it, how game development's going with it, stuff like that. And I'll post the finished projects on itch.io for you guys to enjoy when those are finished. My original plan was to learn a new game engine every week, but this may vary. If I'm doing something like Pico 8, for example, I know uses a very similar framework that Love2D does, as well as Lua, so I don't have to learn a new code language or do much adapting of how those systems work. So I could probably develop a game much quicker in Pico 8 than I could in something like Game Maker or Godot or something like that that uses more of a UI to make the games. You have more of a UI that you interact with to make the games. But yeah, I was going to take a week originally for each of these, but some of them may go quicker, some of them may take longer, so I don't want to lock myself into 1 week if there's still something I'm trying to get out of these engines. So we'll kind of play it by ear, but roughly a week for each game. Basically, you can think of this as me doing a self-imposed game jam every few days or every week or so on average, depending on how long it takes me to get these projects out or how quick I get through each game engine or smaller project. So I might come up with fun themes for myself. I may ask you guys for themes. I may do different genres each time. Who knows what I'm going to come up with as we go through this, but I'm going to work through different engines, different ideas, different themes, almost like it's a game jam, so it can teach me some things about these different engines. I'll be announcing the first game engine on my socials tomorrow, as well as why I picked that game engine for my first one. So stay tuned for that, and yeah. here are my goals for March. So I've kind of outlined what I'm doing, kind of choosing a different game engine and developing games kind of on a weekly-ish basis in those game engines. But here's a couple of goals. So first is I want to learn how to use at least 4 new game engines by the end of the month. Next, I want to develop at least 4 small games or prototypes. Again, I'm going to be learning a new game engine, 4 of them, if I reach this goal. Not every game's going to be as fleshed out as something like Dungeon Camp or any of these games I've been working on. They're probably going to be smaller titles because some of them may be developed in 2 or 3 days. Some of them may take a week and a half. Who knows? It's going to be around a week for each of these. So I want to develop 4 small games / prototypes, proof of concept type things. I want to post daily devlogs as I go through this. I'm going to be posting a video every day of what I've learned, why I chose each game engine, kind of updates on the projects as they go. I'll show screenshots and footage from development, kind of share weird quirks or bugs that I'm running into, different things like that, to kind of cue you guys in on that and have a dialogue there, since a lot of you are also developers, and I'd love to get your feedback on how to do these things better, what great resources and stuff are out there. So yeah. So I want to further refine my process as a game dev. I know that these are going to be super fast projects, so I need to have a good idea of what I'm making going in, come up with that concept, and then just throw that concept at the wall until I get a good prototype, and then find a way to wrap up those projects real quick to move on to the next one to get to my goal of 4 game engines and 4 small games. I want to have fun. This is an exciting project for me. Instead of making 1 game this month, instead of working on a long-term project, I'm just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks and trying to learn as much and take in as much knowledge and kind of break how I normally do these things. In addition to having fun, I want to not lose my mind. I'm going to be taking in a lot of new knowledge, taking in a lot of new feedback and input from you guys, and putting out a lot of games and videos and working a lot on content and stuff like that. And I want to work on managing my time, managing my schedule, managing uploads and all of that, so that I can get a better grasp of how to do this thing long term. So yeah. But I wanted to just end this all with a big thank you. Thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for commenting and giving me feedback over this last few weeks working on this game. Thank you for sticking with me, subscribing, liking, following, anything that you've done to engage with my game, play my games, download my games. It's been a big support. I'm growing slowly, but I do see more and more people coming in and engaging with my content, enjoying my games, enjoying the videos I'm putting out, and that's all I could ask for. I'm not great at this social media thing. I'm growing, I'm getting better at it. It's something I struggle with, being natural on camera and knowing how to do this. I've never really done it before, but I'm trying to stay on social media, engage with you guys so that I can get more people engaged. I can get more people playing my games. I want to make games people enjoy and people can see themselves in and people value, and that's something I think I'm starting to do. I think I'm getting some people that are really enjoying the content I'm putting out, really enjoying the games I'm putting out. So thank you guys for engaging. Thank you guys for showing up and liking my videos and all the things you're doing. I really mean it. I'm rambling a little bit, but I do appreciate everyone who has taken the time out of their day to support me in this journey. And I'm looking forward to it growing and seeing where this goes. But yeah, enough of that mushy stuff. I am going to be letting you guys know what my first game engine is tomorrow. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you down the road.